Meet the family that lives next door. They're your typical suburban family. They just moved in a few months ago. You see them at the grocery store picking up their dry cleaning, taking the dog for a walk, just like any other normal family. They're a little strange. But who isn't these days? And besides, it's not our place to judge. It's not our place to ask questions. We keep to ourselves. They keep to themselves. Everyone's happy, everyone's safe. But what if I told you this house is hiding a dark secret? What if I told you the people you see walking around town are vampires? I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. I've lived in my suburban neighborhood my whole life and never questioned the safety of my little town until one day when everything changed. This is the story of the family that lives next door. You see, their daughter wanted to come out as a vampire to her human friends. She wanted to live a normal life, go to school, make friends, have fun. But to do that, she would have to give up her immortality. She would have to give up her family. She would have to give up everything she had ever known. Hi, I am here to tell you about the summer my world turned upside down and I discovered the dark truth about my neighbors. Was she a werewolf? A vampire? A zombie? Maybe she wasn't human. Maybe she was a monster. It all started when I noticed the new family that had moved in next door. They were a bit odd, but I didn't think much of it. I mean, they kept to themselves, so I did, too. That is until one night I was awoken to what sounded like screams in the dead of night. I snuck into her room, through her window, and discovered the truth. She wasn't a monster, she was a vampire, and she wasn't alone. Her entire family was a vampire. They had been living in my neighborhood for centuries, hiding in plain sight. They worked at night shifts so they could sleep during the day. And instead of drinking human blood, they drank synthetic blood. It was the only way they could survive without being detected. I looked out my window and saw the family standing in their yard. Their daughter was kneeling down with her hands in the dirt. She looked up at the sky and let out a blood-curdling scream. Then she disappeared inside. I tried to shake it off, but then it happened again and again and again. Every night I heard her screams, but I never thought much of it. That is until one day when I was outside and she was too. I finally worked up the courage to say hello, but when I did, she ran inside. I couldn't help but wonder what was going on behind closed doors. Why did she scream every night? Why did she run away when I approached her? One day I decided to investigate, but their secret was about to be revealed. And in the end, that's exactly what she did.